standard audit memo of, that we're required to go through for the audit engagement for the fiscal year. I don't believe I have to, in prior years I've had to sign them. I don't think I have to this year.
No.
There's nothing in there to sign, so. This is more of a standard form. Try to save Mona's voice if anybody has questions on it.
No, it seems pretty boilerplate.
It's, okay, so we'll move forward with that. Item 3, discussion and possible action, Board of Education, return of funds, capital, non-recurring. Let me get that page up here. So this is from the budget, as I'm opening it. We anticipated receiving approximately $250,000 back from the Board of Ed, and we got roughly $251,000 back because we're trying to build fund balance, and there were some complications with the state grant to the Board of Education. Mona, Ray, and the Board of Ed made an agreement that $125,000 of the $250 will go back to the Board of Ed, and the additional $125,000 is going to go to our fund balance. So with that, we have a resolution in the package, and then we can get to any questions we.
And this would be for the consent agenda?
Consent agenda
Council
for
meeting.
the council meeting, correct.
And that 125 going back to the Board of Ed, is that for capital specifically?
Capital and non-recurring.
Yes.
Okay. Can I just read the bottom part where it says actually what we're going to be doing, or?
Sure.
So with that, I'll make a motion to send to the consent agenda for the town council on August 19, 2024. Be it resolved that notified by the Board of Education that the amount of funds being returned by the Board of Education to the general fund for the budget year ending June 30, 2024 is $250,991. The finance director is authorized to transfer $125,000 from the general fund to the reserve for capital non-recurring fund for Board of Education capital project.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item number 4, discussion possible action, resolution year-end operating to capital. And again, this is, let me just get my right page here. This is the Board of Education had $250,000 of unused funds in their capital, I believe it's capital?
Yes.
Let you nod, yes.
General fund.
Capital fund.
Yes.
And we are taking those funds and putting them into future years until the project's completed.
Correct.
Projects are completed. So just make a motion to, I guess, accept those funds back in.
I guess I'm puzzled. So it's the same dollar amount as the one we just discussed.
Different dollar amount. There was $250,000 for the return and $200,000 in capital. So if you keep going to another page or two down.
No, but I'm going back to the resolution we just approved. That was the surplus of $250,991.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided to basically cut that in half, right?
Correct.
125 is going to go to the town, but the other 125 is going to remain with the Board of Ed for capital non-recurring.
Correct.
Okay, now this resolution concerns the same exact dollar amount.
No,
Nope.
no. just-
5991, does it
No,
not?
No,
200.
this one's
No,
200.
keep you go
Next
to another
page.
page.
So that was item number 3, the one just, oh,
No, item number 4.
got it. Okay, thank you.
Yep. So this is $200,000 that was part of their 23-24 budget that they didn't utilize. They're giving the money back, and we're putting it into the 24-25 budget.
Correct.
So
So this isn't their operating money, it's our capital.
Correct.
Allocated to them.
okay.
More capital.
More capital.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to send to the consent agenda for the August 19, 2024 Town Council meeting the following future funds to be reserved for purpose of expending the funds as reflected below in future years until completed. Account 019-500-005720, BOE school improvements for $200,000.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. The next one is discussion and possible action, resolution, transfer of ARPA funds to the general fund.
Should I just do the motion? Do we have any?
Yeah, there's nothing to explain there.
Yeah,
really.
so I will make a motion to send to the consent agenda for the August 19th, 2024 Town Council meeting. Have the Rock Hill Town Council authorize the town manager to transfer the remaining balance of $1,045,787 of proceeds from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 to the Town of Rock Hill 2023-2024 annual budget.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The next one, discussion, possible action, resolution, the transfer private duty to the general fund.
I'll make a motion to send to the consent agenda for the Town Council meeting of August 19th, 2024, to have the Rock Hill Town Council authorize the town manager to transfer the $150,000 of proceeds from the Private Duty Special Revenue Fund to the Town of Rocky Hill 2023-2024 annual budget.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Now we have our budgetary transfers, so discussion, possible action, resolution, budgetary transfers. And Jeff, just before you get into, these are basically line item adjustments so that we're moving money from account A to account B to basically zero them, put them in balance. It has zero impact on the overall budget. It's just our annual adjustments to make everything in line for the audit.
Correct.
Some are over, some are under, and we're just reallocating funds.
You're just reclassing amongst expenditure accounts is all it is. So, I mean, I'm not going to read the whole schedule, so I'll put that out.
Oh, come on, it's like the budget.
I will make a motion to send to the consent agenda for the August 19, 2024 Town Council meeting, as in our packet, the schedule of expenditure reclassifications for totaling amount of $633,900.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The next one's the update on the special revenue fund. Mona, I'll try to save your voice a little bit there.
I think just to focus on the notes would be
Okay.
the easiest for you.
So we'll go through the notes just real quick. The first two items, the CDBG Small City and the Industrial Park Development have had no activity for multiple years. We can't expend those funds, they're restricted. Recreation program is the normal activity that happens each month, money in, money out for programming.
The notes on the bottom.
Oh, you even had it on the bottom,
Oh,
perfect.
you could be here for a while. Yeah, those are the highlights.
Yeah,
Let's jump to the bottom, all
The
right.
noted ones, yeah.
So let's see,
So asset forfeiture, I think is the first.
I'm missing the left side, here we go.
Footnotes.
Oh, okay.
Yep, number one is the asset forfeiture, and it includes the purchase of service weapons for $45,000 and a taser purchase for $28,000. Item number two in the youth services is money donated to the project graduation venue.
Correct.
Item three on the police grants, miscellaneous grants, including opioid funds are there, and it includes $40,000 in opioid funds, and we'll spend over $20,000 on human service programs. Item four is the ARPA funds, and this is to reduce the fund balance, which we just approved. Item five is the private duty service fee, which we also just reduced by $150,000. I know I'm going quickly through it. I don't know if there's any items that jump out. Anybody has any questions on? No?
No.
Okay, so we'll move forward. Update, reserve for capital, non-reoccurring expenditures through June 30th, 2024. Capital non-recurring.
If you'd like, I can try.
You want, there's not a lot here, Mona,
No,
but
I just wanted to point out that LoCIP, the 182,000 is a new method of the state tracking LoCIP. So we'll be putting it in the non-reoccurring rather than it being through the regular general fund. So we will watch this. That allows them to use multiple years.
Okay, so the 182,000 is just really now it's gonna show through the special revenue?
Correct.
It's still the same money we were receiving previously?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else that anybody has any questions on here?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
All right. State aid to municipalities in the month of June, I don't believe we received any. So it's all been received for the year. The monthly financial report, we received our packet. You know, if there's particular questions we can go through. You know, this is the last month pre-audit, so the audit is now, I'll assume by now, underway.
Yep, they'll be
And-
back in September.
So we'll be working towards the audit report. So we can review, I can go through the revenue expenditure. I'll just read your memo on the executive summary. So overall revenues are on target. Tax revenues continue at the planned rate of 99.5%. State revenues have all been received. Interest as of June 2024 exceeded the budget by $400,000. Recording fees are slightly behind at 92%. Conveyance taxes on target, and building permit fees are 122% above the budget. Expenditures, overall expenditures are on target. Other salaries, part-time and overtime costs exceed budget in property assessment, tax collector, and personnel due to vacancies. Also, overtime for police communications is over 180% due to vacancies. Police patrol overtime is at 150% due to vacancies. These costs will be offset by full-time salary lines, and highway and garage overtime at 78% and 97% respectively. The overtime used for the remainder of the year should be within budget. Tree service over budget and will be offset by the park grounds budget lines. Equipment repair, increase in large equipment costs and needs, including trailers, heavy equipment, and fire. Copier and telephone, due to insufficient data by department, charges will be reflected centralized within the information technology budget. So that's just allocation.
Yes.
Okay. Sanitation, MDC quarterly payments exceeded budget by $130,000. Insurance, liabilities and workers' compensation reflects all 4 quarters, slightly over budget due to cyber risk plan. Insurance, employee benefits, awaiting final closeout from Cigna as we transition to Anthem. The Board of Education, as we noted earlier, returned the $250,991, of which $125,000 will be transferred to capital, and the pension payment contributions have been completed.
So I do have a question about the payment to the MDC. Sorry to make you talk, Mona. So my understanding was that the payment to the MDC is fixed by, on a per capita basis? So,
Yeah.
so how can you have a surprise like that then, or a bump up in the course of the year?
Well, we had, through the budget process, what they were giving us was information that was always like a quarter late or half a year late. They came out and sat with us and gave us an explanation how to budget for that. So we would get a full year on calendar year, but always be budgeting a little bit behind. So they gave us the secret code to budget properly. We're all set for this year.
But, I mean, is that because that the dollar amount per capita has increased from year to year? Is that what it was?
It does increase, but it was the calculation of the budget was just not following their process. They would tell you, like the full calendar year. So as we're preparing for the 23-24 budget, we would know what the entire calendar year of the 22 was, but not the other half for the 23. So we estimated low.
Just because they're on a calendar year and we're on a fiscal year, July to June year.
Correct. But they did come out and had a meeting with us and explained that there's a way to calculate that they base it on an average of the prior year. So we're going to be good from this point forward.
Bill, if you remember I was trying to help Mona because of the voice.
Yeah, I know.
If you remember from the budget workshops, we had a call with them, and they kind of explained the secret to how they calculate the number. So we were using an estimate in the current year.
Yep.
Based upon the way we historically did it. Going forward, we now know how they do their calculation, so we should be right on track with the calculation.
At what point in the year do they disclose their data, what their new number's gonna be?
They'll do it at the end of the calendar year, so
Calendar year.
Yeah.
we usually get it like
That's
around
something- and then
February,
you-
March.
And then now you know how to tweak that up so that you have the right number baked into in the budget for the following year that
Exactly.
starts in July.
Yes,
It was a very informative call with them, and,
yes.
you know, they said no one's ever really asked the calculation. I'm like, you would think it would just be a standard, but,
Yeah.
because you're working on two different year ends, but going forward now at least now we know the answer to the question.
Get it right.
Which helped for this year's budget.
Right.
Any other questions? Okay. I don't think we have anything for other. So if we have nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.